Well, welcome back, everybody. This is the Now Morning Show right here on TTT, also on Talk City 91.1 FM, and we are streaming live at the Now Morning Show Facebook page, and that's where you'll find us. Like, follow, share. You know what we do. And now it's time for DIY. For our listeners on Talk City 91.1 FM, listen closely. I'll try to be as descriptive as possible. This morning, we are starting a new project, which is a multi-purpose seating unit. So the premise of this is that whatever direction you turn it, you could actually use it for something different. So on one side, it could be an end table. On the other side, it could be a stool to sit and actually put your books down. Or it could end up, if you turn it on the other side and you put a top on it, it could be a very nice coffee table. And maybe, who knows, for the next project, I'll probably make that tabletop, so then you could make one and have one to use. But remember, this is brought to you by TNZ Home Improvement. Thank you to our sponsors.
Do it yourself. Brought to you by TNZ Home Improvement Center, making home improvement easy since 1986.
All right, back in studio, and thank you to our sponsors again. Remember, safety is key, so ensure that you protect your hands, protect your eyes, and anything else you need to protect. So I'm going to put my safety glasses on, and we're going to start this project. So what you're going to need is two pieces of these are 2x12 boards. They're planks, actually. You could get them, you buy them for scaffolding and such, but you really make some nice projects once you know how to use it. All right, so these are cut to 18 inches. All right, and this one here is cut to 12 inches. Then we have one piece of 2x4 here. This is cut to 12 inches as well, and you'll see why. Now, this is part one of a series because this is a pretty big project, so we're going to have quite a bit to work on, actually. All right, so what you need to do, I did some pilot holes already. We have 3 pilot holes here, and you'll see why. And then we have 2 that are vertical. You know, if we turn them this way, it's vertical. All right, this is where the 2x4 will be connected. Here is where the 12-inch piece will be connected. But this here is the front side, and I needed to work on the back side. So we're going to flip this around, and we're going to start. So I made some pilot holes through this main piece here, but we need to get some pilot holes into the 12-inch set. So what I'll do here is line this up on this nice flat table. You need to brace it with some pressure. You know, maybe I could call my lovely assistant Anchor to give me a hand here. You don't have much to do. So for all listeners on Talk City 91.1 FM, what I'm doing right now is I have my 2 pieces. One is 18 inches in length. It's 2x12. I have it standing on its side, and I have my pilot holes drilled already, but I do need to put pilot holes in the 12-inch piece. And here's Ainka walking in from my right side. And what I need you to do is come up on the side here and just hold this in one place so that I don't mess it up, because it wouldn't be fun to mess up.
No pressure.
All right, so what we're doing right now, we're holding it in place, corner to corner, and I have pilot holes through the main one, and I'm going to drill my pilot holes through the adjoining piece. What I'm using right here is a power drill with a 1/8 bit. And while I work here, it's a little bit noisy, but that's fine. Now my pilot holes are in the cross piece, so I will now use some 3.5-inch screws to go through my pilot holes and into my project. I'm going to thread them by hand at first. So 3 screws going in, one followed by the second one. And here is the third one at last. And I will now use my power screwdriver to drive those in and make this corner joint secure. Get this out of the way. All right, what I'm doing right now, making sure everything is aligned again once more. And Ainka is giving me a great hand here in making sure this is done well. So you want to make your holes a little narrow so that the threading on your screws could actually grip properly. I'll need a little more pressure here, so...
Then I'm not the man for the job.
All right. Don't mind my technique. So that's one.
Oh, and it's twisted. There you go.
Right. So what I'll actually do is do the bottom one right now, so we'll have alignment. And again, a little pressure needed, so.
At this point, here for moral support. Okay, bye, cars.
Wait, almost done. I still need you just to hold it up. All right, there we go. And this one should be relatively easy. Ooh, this is a workout. All right, so this corner piece is done. And now we're gonna do the same for this 2x4 piece here. Luckily, now I could do this and do it from the top, which makes life a little easier because gravity could now be helpful. I made these measurements here before, so I'm actually just going to line them up with the lines I have made. And once they're lined up properly, I could do the same that I was doing before and put in my pilot holes in the 2x4 piece through the 2x12 piece and finally drive my screws in to make it secure. So as we're working here, I don't want to keep too much silence, but for our listeners on radio, I have now turned the piece on a right angle. The 12-inch piece is bracing on my right side, while the 2x4 piece is going in on my left. And I'm just lining up the markings with the piece here to ensure it's straight. And I can now take my drill again and drill those pilot holes in. So I'm going in from the top now. Much easier this time around. And with just as much ease, I can now drive in my two 3.5-inch screws from the top, making this brace over here. So I thread them by hand first. Now I'll drive them with my power screwdriver. So the hard part here is done. Now we do the same thing with the other side. Again, I've drilled the pilot holes, as you can see here. And what you'll see here as well, if you're looking a little closely, these holes are wide on the outside, and then on the inside, there's the actual drill hole. What these are called are countersinks, so that the screw head could go in, so then you could use things like putty and stuff to go over it and make it nice and flat. All right, so what we're gonna do here now is align all the markings, just like we did before, meeting corner to corner. And because we have this already made, I can work from the top, which makes my life a little easier. Drill in the pilot holes and finally the screws on this side. Again, this is maybe a 3 or 4 part project, so we won't finish everything today. We do need more lumber than this actually to finish the other part of it. So on the next one, depending on how far we get, we'll do that as well. All right, so as I continue here, I know time is quickly running out because we do need to go upstairs to the TTT News Center for the news at 7. But I do have a couple more minutes, maybe a minute and a half again. So we'll just continue here. And what I'm doing, putting the other brace piece, which is 18 inches, and connecting it to this that I've done before with the 12-inch piece. When you're drilling, always do your corners first and then do your centerpiece, because you can align your corners, but if that centerpiece goes in, it loses any ability to pivot. So do your corner pieces, ensure that your corners meet properly, and then you're driving your corners. Then you can drive in the centerpiece. Right, once that is secure, you can now work with this piece here. Sometimes lumber is not perfect, Lumber is not perfect, so you would have to sometimes bend and flex it to make it fit how you need. So in this case, I'll need to apply a little bit of force here. So we'll do this on the next day. But for now, though, we do need to take a break because we're going upstairs to the TTT News Center for the news at 7. We'll be back with the rest of the Now Morning Show after that. Stay with us.
Do it yourself. Brought to you by